176-run opening partnership, another World Cup century for Sahibzada Farhan, and Pakistan have crossed the 200 mark. They've got to 208 in their 20 overs. In this all-important match, it's the 50th match in Palikelli. Pakistan playing Sri Lanka, but in a way, Pakistan's playing New Zealand, actually. That's what the game is, because if Pakistan wins this with the adequate margin, goes up on net run rate from New Zealand, and then qualify from this group, and New Zealand does not. So Sri Lanka's right, what we used to call proxy attendance. Sri Lanka is doing proxy attendance for New Zealand, and now Sri Lanka has to get within 65 runs of Pakistan to ensure that even if they lose the match, New Zealand's net run rate remains above Pakistan. So, will one island help another? Hello, welcome to Cricbuzz Live. I'm Gaurav Kapur. With me, Michael Vaughan and Dinesh Karthik. That was an amazing batting display by Pakistan, but also shows what happens when you have the correct personnel in the correct position.
Yeah, correct personnel, better mindset, probably a better pitch as well. I thought Sri Lanka were terrible with the ball. You know, they just didn't look on it in the field. They were a little bit off as well, but
Terrible. That's it.
Yeah. Back end was okay.
Yeah.
Sri Lanka got it right in the last few overs, but I'm sure Pakistan have done this before, where they've beaten Sri Lanka in the last group stages in a ICC event. I think it was 2017. Were you playing?
Yeah.
Pakistan ended up in the final.
Yeah, very much so.
Ended up beating India, and you were playing in that game, DK.
As part of the team, didn't play that game, but Jasprit Bumrah bowled a no ball and got Fakhar Farhan out in the final.
Right.
That was a big moment.
That's right. So they've done this before. This is what they do.
This is
They kind of con us all for a few games and then go, ha, we're back.
Yeah, here we are. Surprise! That's exactly what
Even
they've
in
done.
that Champions Trophy 2017, interesting thing happened. Their designated opener, the start right up to a certain point, was Ahmed Shahzad.
Yeah.
And then they had Fakhar Farhan replace Ahmed Shahzad. Then we know what happened. He was brilliant in the semis and finals, and they got the victory.
So that's what they do, right? They just hide Fakhar Zaman. And come the big game, they just bring him out from the cotton balls, right? Dust him off and say, go, run. And boy, did he run. Well, they asked him to run, and he was flying. He was excellent. We'll talk about him, of course, and then we have to talk about the Centurion, but his innings, and why I'm bringing him up before the Centurion is because how much of a help is a partner like this to your century knock?
Massive. Yeah. Because what he did is almost complement what Sahibzada Farhan is doing. So we know how good Sahibzada Farhan has been in form, but what he did is right from the outset had great intent, took off quite nicely against pacers, but he took on the spinners like Mahesh Theekshana. Generally, Fakhar Zaman is somebody who's very strong over mid-wicket, but today he hit a lovely few shots over covers, wide long off, which I really enjoyed, which says that he's thought about this game and worked on certain aspects, and he's shown the skill that is required to be good enough at this international level where he's putting pressure back on solid bowlers. So I think Pakistan were wonderful. Sahibzada Farhan, hats off, great knock. Fakhar Zaman in compliment to what he did and kept that momentum going. There was a place where he was almost at a similar ball, but way ahead of what Sahibzada Farhan is, which is so important in an opening partnership.
I mean, it's crazy because this Pakistan batting lineup wasn't getting this much as their opening partners have got today, right? Their opening partnership. The entire team was not getting this team total. They got 176 in 95 balls. They have been absolutely blistering. I mean, there's so many records that they've broken today. We'll list them all at the end of the game. But 176-run partnership, attack from both ends. And that's what got Sri Lanka, like they were caught like deer in the headlights.
Yeah, and I can only imagine. I would have thought Mike Hesson would have wanted this combination at the start. It's such a good combination in T20 cricket. Probably in 50-over cricket, this is a good combination as well. They've just got a nice kind of flow of hitting the ball.
Yeah.
Now, they play good cricket shots. I mean, when they hit a six, it doesn't look like they're over hitting the ball. They're just kind of getting that big kind of flow of the bat, onside, offside. You know, very good base, nice strong base. You know, one or two little flicks as well over fine leg, which is just making the captain's job that little bit more difficult. Look, they got a few balls on a plate. You know, I didn't think Sri Lanka offered too much in terms of surprise. I thought they went, there you go, where do you want to hit it?
Yeah.
But you still got to hit it. But that's a really good combination. Whether it's come too late, we'll have to wait and see. But in my eyes, I would be staggered if Mike Hesson didn't want this combination at the start of the tournament.
I wonder who Michael's talking about. Oh, I wonder. Not going to say anymore. Not going to say anymore. But anyway, 148 is what Sri Lanka
Quite a good
needs to get.
singer, aren't you? You've got quite a good vocal range.
Would you like me to sing some
Yeah,
more?
go on,
I'm
sing
happy
some
to.
more. Yeah, go on. One more song.
For the Kiwis, do some haka, something. Got to do something. So here's this sentence sounds counterintuitive, but Sri Lanka has to get 148 for New Zealand to go through to the semi-finals. Once you put it like that, it seems a little odd, but that's what they have to do. So effectively, to bring it back to this match, Pakistan has to restrict Sri Lanka to 147 or less. And if they do, you're putting your hand up, yes?
I want to make a point.
Yes.
So, if Sri Lanka are trying to win this game for New Zealand to get 148,
Yeah.
I think they can do that quite easily.
Okay.
If Sri Lanka are going to try and beat Pakistan to get past the over 200, I think they could come up short.
Yeah.
Because they'll play lots of shots early, lose a few wickets, and that 148 will be a problem. On this kind of pitch, if you say, right, we just want New Zealand to go through the semi-finals and we'll just get 148, I think Sri Lanka get that. But you've got to remember, they're not thinking about New Zealand. They're just thinking about winning this game of cricket for their home supporters in the stadium. Sanaf Jalisari's potential last game as a coach. So because they're chasing that bigger number, I think it brings in the equation of a score under 148 quite, I wouldn't say easily, but I think it's on the cards.
I like that. He's made a very valid point. An absolutely valid point. I don't think there's going to be any island love here between Sri Lanka and New Zealand. They're not even thinking of New Zealand. Only New Zealand is thinking of New Zealand. But they will, of course, try to win this game because we spoke about it before this game began, is that Sri Lanka's been under fire in the last 1 week, right? Especially with this entire Super 8. They've been under a lot of pressure from their home team, from their home fans. They will, of course, go for a win here. They're not going to play safe.
They're going to try for a win, but it's so heavily dependent on one or two individuals that it's always extremely hard. And at times you need a bit of luck going your way because others haven't shown anything to suggest that this kind of a score can be chased. I would think it's a very interesting point that Michael says. A lot of the times internally when we speak to when you speak amongst the team in a situation like this, you always say go for that score. Let's assume Sri Lanka score 148, they'll still go through to the next round, which is not going to happen hypothetically. You would still say look to get that 200 and whatever score because then 148 feels a lot more easier.
Yeah.
But it's a very interesting point that Michael has said. So I'm pretty sure that they're going to come and try and win the game, but that's what makes sense. They are not going to be too worried about whether New Zealand go or Pakistan go. They're out of the tournament, so they're going to try and win one game. So they're going to come out that way, which could be helpful if they don't lose wickets and counterintuitive if they do end up losing a few in the power play and then they're crumbling in a way through the
The only problem, I have a problem in this situation because the integrity of the tournament comes into play. Because if Sri Lanka lose early wickets, do they really want to get past the 148 or do Sri Lanka want the semi-final to be in Sri Lanka? Which it will be if they don't get 148. If they get to 148, New Zealand gets on a plane and comes to Calcutta? Yeah. So I think we've got a funny scenario here that you've got the host team that obviously want to try and beat Pakistan, but in the back of their minds, they'll be going, well, if we don't win, we might as well get below 148 because then we get a semi-final in our own country and potentially a final in our own country.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm just saying,
So they could
there's
be
a bit of integrity at play here.
We're not implying it's a conspiracy theory, right? But they're human beings. You can think of these thoughts, and if any one of them in the team wants to, in the future, become tourism minister or revenue minister, this could be really good in your resume. Oh, we just kid. We're just joking. But these are human thoughts. These are very valid human thoughts, so they're quite interesting. But we'll talk about the Sri Lanka bowling. This report card, if you're a Sri Lanka fan, look away. Because it's not good. It's not good for anyone, right? From the top till the end. You could say Tikshana maybe he's gone for 35 in his 4. You could say
Madhushanka was good.
Madhushanka in the beginning especially was good, right? His first couple of overs were decent.
He was actually better at the back end. He picked up a few wickets and hit the right lengths. But overall, GK, the bowling has been pretty ordinary. That's the truth. And even worse was their fielding. I thought they were just all over the place. They were letting go of some easy balls and it just didn't look like a team that desperately wanted to win. They were out there in the park trying to do their best, but it wasn't up to mark. And considering how well they've fielded in the tournament so far, they were really being looked at as, wow, how well are you fielding against Australia? The way they actually fielded was phenomenal. It wasn't. It was a shadow of what we saw in the last week, probably.
May I use the word listless?
It's a good choice of word, I think.
Yeah.
Listless.
Listless.
Okay.
They looked very listless in the field today.
DK's right. They didn't look like they desperately wanted to get the ball.
Yeah.
You know, when the ball, there was a couple of balls that just bounced short of the rope, and there was fielders on the and running around, and I'm thinking, you had to
No,
dive.
you weren't just thinking it. You were saying it out loud to the television.
I was.
We were next to you. We're like, dive!
You're allowed. There was a catch on the boundary, which was a tough catch that you see so often in the modern game. They catch it, flick it back, just cut it foot straight on the rope. I'm going, that's not a good fielding side in good operation mentally. And Sri Lanka have been excellent throughout the tournament, but tonight with the fielding, they've had an off night.
Deer in the headlights. They were really deer in the headlights today. And maybe they were put there because the headlights were switched on by Farhan and Fakhar Farhan because they were just absolutely brilliant. Anybody would get dazed with that kind of batting display. And also, all around the park.
Yeah. And they set a field towards the end where they were just concentrating on bowling wide yorkers, wider lines. And a lot of the times they were coming inside and just playing the angle, and they got a few boundaries. But overall, I think they set it up quite nicely. 176 runs if you can get as an opening pair. The game is pretty much done there. After that, anybody who's coming in is just trying to maximize from ball one. Even they lost, ended up losing so many wickets. They still...
Do you mind them those? Because that's the way you were going to play, right?
I mean, if you look at the scorecard, there are just 2 scores over in double figures. I mean, everything else is single digits, which tell you that all of them just tried to slog as many as they can, and they didn't end up being successful. But the top 2 batters set the tone, and that's what you require in T20 cricket. This is a better scorecard to have than everybody scoring at 120, 130 strike rate, and you ending up at 170.
Fair enough. I mean, they still ended up getting 40 in the last 4. You'd say after that kind of a base, you maybe want them to get 50. That's a little unrealistic because everybody has to come in and first ball and hit.
Yeah, you're probably wanting a little bit too much. Yeah. I think they'll be delighted if they said at the start of the game you're going to get 212. You've got 212 to play with.
2-8, yeah.
You know, you've got to bowl Sri Lanka out for under 148. I think before the game they said, yeah, that's okay. We'll take that without any question.
We suggested that 200 would be very hard. But, you know, just like what Michael said, I think it's a much better pitch than what England played yesterday. Or so far in Colombo. It's probably been the best pitch. Yeah. And that's good for Pakistan. For so far, it looked like 160 was winning total. They couldn't have defended 160. So this is a good total to be defending.
Yeah, 212 is the mammoth total. Now, remember, as I said, Sri Lanka, Pakistan has to restrict, not just win. They have to win by a margin of 65 runs. And that's what will take their net run rate above New Zealand's and make them qualify along with England from this group, which means that they will play South Africa. Do we know that?
If South Africa beats Zimbabwe, obviously.
Yeah, but I mean...
I'm just putting out very mathematical things. Obviously, everybody feels that South Africa should be through.
Yeah. And, of course, we don't know the other semi-final. Then India will beat West Indies.
There's nothing mathematical about that. It's a shootout quarterfinal.
Straight shootout. I love it. See, this is the reason why I would have liked Pakistan to be chasing right now. Because they would have known the score and we would have known how many overs they have to get it in. And that would have probably been a little more exciting.
A quicker night for us also.
Yeah.
If it did happen that way.
I mean, you never know. Just saying. The way Sri Lanka's batted in the last few games.
Yeah, this could still be a quick night.
Yeah.
Really?
With the way Sri Lanka have been batting, yeah.
Yeah. That's what I said. The way how many are they going to get in the power play? Let's do our guessing game. Let's have some fun. How many are they going to get in the power play?
54.
54. 47.
62.
Ooh. 47 for me.
62, that means pretty much Pakistan are out.
Yeah,
I just feel they're going to go hard in the power play because they're chasing 200.
Yeah. And they'll be 62 for 6.
I just want to tell you that they have scored 1 in 4 balls.
Don't scare me now. I haven't got 1 right.
Well, looks like you're going to be Mr. Consistent.
That's true.
Well, that's all we have time for. We're going to see you at the
What's
end
your
of
number?
47.
47, 54, 62.
Yep. That's us.
Someone's winning. If not 2.
I mean, if there's not been a more generic statement in the history of the world, someone's winning. Yeah, someone is.
I'm talking our game now.
Okay. Oh, fair enough. All right.
Yeah. None of us won in the first one.
Yeah, I'm talking the guessing game, the most important game.
Only the most important game. I mean, yes, there's a trophy at play, but whatever. This is the most important game. I just want to tell you that a lot of people have a bullseye. But only one has 2. The two bulls, first innings bullseye. Not this power play kiddie menu. Serious business. First innings bullseyes. Two. All right, I think enough gloating live on air. I shall now go gloat in the green room. Thank you so much for watching Cricbuzz Live. We'll see you in the com box at the end of 10 overs, 213 for Sri Lanka to win this game against Pakistan. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.